Right, I'm gonna try this in my best Australian accent, okay? Frank owns a service station on a little used what the fuck is that? On a little used highway. I can't do it. I can't do it. Hi friends, it is Sam and welcome back to my Vlogtober spooky readathon. The second book on my list is The Hunted by Gabriel Bergmoser. Don't know if that's the way to say it. So, right, I decided last night that I'm going to use the second syllable of his first name and the first syllable of his last name and call him Brielberg. Then we don't have to call the pronunciation police, okay? Okay. This book came out this year and it's set in Australia. Frank owns a service station on a little used highway. His granddaughter Ali is sent to stay with him for the summer, but they don't talk a lot. Simon is a dreamer and an idealist, enthralled to the romance of the open road and desperately in search of something. Maggie is the woman who will bring them together, someone whose own personal journey will visit unimaginable terror on them all. Sounds spooky. I love the cover. The claw and the blood and the shack. Seems like shacks on the cover is a theme so far, but I don't have my next book planned, so I cannot yet confirm. So I'm gonna start reading this today. It shouldn't take me very long. I think it's like less than 300 pages. Yeah, it's 271 pages. Hello, Sam of the future here. Hello Jess. I'm currently editing this video and I forgot to mention that there are gonna be spoilers in this video for The Hunted by Brielberg. You may have seen the spoiler warning in my last reading vlog, but if you didn't see my last reading vlog, A, go watch it, and B, tell my sister she sucks, and C, I should put a spoiler warning in here because you didn't watch it. Spoiler warning for The Hunted. Taking a trip to Ashton Court to walk the boy, and I will update you on my little bookie work. Also, I've been called into work for 3 o'clock this afternoon, so that's a day disruption that we didn't ask for.
Dudley, you're being such a good boy.
So we just got here and Dawn ran straight in front of a car like the little smeg he is. Naughty boy. I'm 31 pages into my book and all 4 of the main characters have been introduced. You've got Frank, who owns a petrol station in the middle of nowhere. Perfect setting for a horror novel. He likes to keep to himself, he's quiet. He's looking after his granddaughter, who doesn't like the fact that he's really quiet.
Does he want snacks?
And then you've got Simon, who is driving around Australia trying to get to know his country after finishing uni, I think. And he meets Maggie in a pub. She is homeless, as she has revealed to him. And she's carrying around a backpack of moolah. Them Australian dollar bills, you know? So that's quite suspicious. She also like gave him a murderous look at one point. But she has convinced him to let her on the ride of the Australia tour, to let her in on the tour of Australia. So they're now road tripping together, even though they're complete strangers. It's like just the perfect setup, the perfect premise for a horror novel. I feel like I know where it's gonna go, but those are the kind of novels that shock you the most, I think. At the end of Frank's chapter, a woman pulled up at his petrol station covered in blood and mud, and I assume it's Maggie, but the chapter ended there, so we're gonna find out. I had quite low expectations since it's following a king, but I like it so far. Go ahead. Do a walk. Normal. Such a freak. Excuse the state of me. We watched Michael McIntyre's Netflix special this evening and it made me cry with laughter, so my makeup's a bit ruined. But I got a good chunk of this book read. I'd say I'm a third of the way through. I should have mentioned earlier that Simon's chapters are set in the past and Frank, the guy who owns the petrol station, his chapters are set in the present. So Simon, in the past, has picked up Maggie and they've gone exploring Australia together. And Maggie decides that they should go off the highway so that they can actually see parts of Australia that not many people have explored before. And they find this town with creepy residents and they spend the night there, and Maggie gets quite close with the villagers. And the next morning Simon wakes up, he goes outside and the girl villager approaches him and threatens to strangle Maggie. So he runs back inside, they have a confrontation, and Maggie reveals that this town is the last place her mother was seen. Simon's still mad at her because she led him to a spooky village with like scary villagers. So he tries to drive off and the three village dudes apprehend him with weapons and a bat and an angry dog. The last words of his story that I read were, "What are you going to do to me? Please just let me go. I won't tell anyone." "Tell anyone what?" Steve said. "We haven't done anything yet." So that's a proper Simon cliffhanger that we got going there. Like, I don't feel like Simon's gonna survive, which kind of makes sense. Like, Maggie shows up at Frank's petrol station in Simon's car. Simon's nowhere to be seen, so I kind of figured Simon wouldn't survive this book. Back in the present, Frank has taken Maggie home while his granddaughter watches the service station. A creepy man came in and asked if she'd seen a woman, and she was like, no woman has passed through here. And obviously he didn't believe her. He threatened her, and when Frank showed up again, he managed to get rid of the man. And while he was searching for a gun to defend himself with should the man come back, several vehicles approached his service station and surrounded it. So he's now surrounded by creepy men who are obviously after Maggie. I am really loving this so far though. It's very tense, very well paced. Maggie I don't like at all. People keep describing her as dangerous, so she's clearly no good. But obviously we're going to find out some more about her as the book progresses. We got some charity shopping to do tomorrow. I need to buy some pajamas and some more spooky reads. So I will see you in the morning. I need to tell you my theory, okay? I've only read another chapter, but I realised something. Hello. Hello? I'm trying to tell the people. Yes, I am. Why don't I tell the people?
these guys that are surrounding the service station, they just admitted that they cut the phone lines. But it occurred to me, the phone lines were cut before they arrived. The customers who were with Frank and his granddaughter, their names are Charlie and Delilah, I think they're part of it. When he went out to check the fuel pump at the beginning and they were left alone in the shop, they must have cut the phone lines. Oh my god, I'm a genius. At the moment, Delilah is with Frank at the service station and they're surrounded. And Charlie is back at the house with Allie, the granddaughter, and the injured girl, Maggie. Charlie could be like dangerous. And there's some vulnerable girls in that house with him. Oh my god. So I just read another chapter. It was a back in the past chapter with Maggie and Simon. And Maggie got to explore in the town. And everyone's creepy. And she started to wonder, like, how they make money. Because the town's, like, without electricity. And it's really isolated. And then she finds this shed. Her part ends with her opening the door to the shed. And I reckon they do murders of anyone who finds their village. And they put them in the shed. And they use their money and their supplies. Or they're cannibals. Either way, that shed's got all their secrets. And that's why they're chasing her in the present, right? The men who were surrounding Simon, broke his arm and then chased him through the woods, and I'm pretty sure he's dead now. Poor Simon. The back of the book says that Maggie's gonna bring them all together. So, either Simon's alive, or she's got his body in the back of that car in the present day. Because that's the only, like, ways that she can bring them all together, you know? I'm gonna get up. We're gonna go shopping this morning. I need to find more spooky books.
I am 140 pages into this book and it is crazy. Some of my suspicions were right. I've only read 2 chapters since I got home. The first of those 2 was centered around Charlie and Allie, and they had a look through Maggie's car while she was unconscious and they found a shotgun. But they didn't bother looking through her rucksack, which annoyed me, because if it is Maggie, like, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but like, it's kind of obvious at this point, then her backpack is full of cash. And then they heard a gunshot from the petrol station because it's not far from the house. So Charlie runs off because he's worried for Delilah, and Allie is left alone with the unconscious Maggie and the shotgun. So she goes into her bedroom and hides under the bed with the shotgun. Then we go back to the past, which is a chapter focused around Maggie. And she is just about to enter this shed, and who was right? I was right. The shed is full of human bodies, hung on hooks. So there are 6 hooks in all. 4 hooks are occupied with carcasses, and there are 2 empty hooks. Maggie is discovered by a villager, and she manages to get one of these hooks under his jaw and pull the chain, so he dies quite gruesomely. And then she hid in one of the villagers' cars, because she figured that once they found the body, they'd panic and run into the bush to find her, because they'd assume that she ran away. So she's hiding under a tarp, and that is where I've left off. I was going to walk the dog, but I couldn't be bothered, so I was like, Jess, walk the dog and I'll wash the car. So Jess has just taken the dog out. I've got to wash Jess's car. Maybe I'll finish this tomorrow morning. I might read some more tonight, but I want to pace myself. I did buy the rest of the books for my readathon, at the charity shops. I also bought the 28 Days Later DVD so I could watch that in one of the reading vlogs. And I bought some leggings. I have read 164 pages. It's juicy. It's so spicy. There's a businessman, right, who's trapped in the service station with Frank and Delilah. And he's like, I don't have to stay with these people. I'm gonna rat them out and tell the meanies where the girl is. So he's like snuck away somewhere. And then we switch to Ali's perspective. She's still under the bed and she hears footsteps. She's pointing the shotgun out from under the bed. She's ready, but she is a 14-year-old girl with no gun experience. And when the nasty cannibal man finds her, he rips the mattress off the bed. He picks her up by the throat and shoves her against the wall. And as he's strangling her, he goes, "Where's Maggie?" So here is confirmation that the bleeding girl is Maggie. Not that we had any doubts anyway. Before he can actually harm Ali, Maggie is awake. She picks up the shotgun and she shoots his face off. Back in the past, Maggie waited till nightfall under the tarp and then climbed out from the vehicle. She started to creep out of the town and she comes across Simon's car. So she goes around it to get into the car and a bear trap snares her leg, which is why she's bleeding when she comes across Frank's service station. So although she's injured, she does manage to take down the hunting dog and 3 other men, I think. So in total, she's killed 5 of the nasty villagers. Good on her. I'm also getting a lot of history on Maggie at the minute. We found out that her dad abused her. She did not have a good childhood, and it could be that that was what she was running away from initially. I'm gonna go to bed now.
So I overslept today, which means I won't get to read much before I go to work. But I just I wanted to show you my outfit. I bought these jeggings yesterday when I went to search for some books. And this is a jumper I bought when I found the previous book in a charity shop. So, entirely thrifted outfit. £6.50. Back to the video.
What a wild roller coaster ride. I'd like to apologise to Charlie and Delilah for suspecting them. God rest their souls, they died. Turns out they weren't the bad guys after all. I'm gonna assume that I'm gonna assume that they cut the lines like, I love you too, before they arrived at the service station, because nothing else makes sense, you know? It made more sense for Delilah to have cut the line, but bless her, she wasn't evil after all. The last like 70 or so pages were an epic showdown between the evil hunter dudes and everyone else. It got really grim. They killed each other in the most creative ways possible. There was like Game of Thrones poking in the eyeballs style killing. There was shooting, there was stabbing, there was baseball batting. I think that the most grim part of all was when Frank, Ali and Maggie were trapped inside the house and surrounded by the evil dudes, right? From outside they yelled like, "We gonna be sending someone in, parlay, you know?" So they send in Kate, who has just snapped Delilah's neck. She goes in, she's got this act going, right? She's sobbing like, oh, I'm so sorry. I really don't want to be part of this hunter family. I really don't agree with what they're doing. Then she grabs Ali. And she's like, you know what? I'm a killer if Maggie doesn't surrender right now. But Ali, she got a knife, hasn't she? She stabs her. And then Maggie kind of skins her scalp and wears it as a wig so that she can escape outside and masquerade as this girl. Grim. There's a car chase. There are explosions. It's just absolute madness. Frank, Ellie and Maggie make it out alive. They let Maggie drive away because she doesn't want to get involved with the police, because it turns out she killed her father and she killed one of the foster kids she was sharing a foster home with. He actually pushed another foster kid into a ditch and he died. So she was like, hey, I'm gonna put your face on a campfire. So she's been on the run from the law pretty much her whole life, but since she helped Frank keep his granddaughter alive, he was like, hey, off you go, we got this, we gonna tell the police. What she should have done though was give him some of that money in her backpack. A, the money in the backpack was not explained, and B, Frank's livelihood just like burned to the ground. His petrol station and his house were set on fire. So she could have given him some of the rucksack money, you know? Just saying. I know that it turns out Maggie isn't a great person, but I really enjoyed this book, and according to the back cover, it's going to be made into a film. Does he look like Andrew Garfield a little bit? Or Brilberg? I reckon he does. I'm going to be rating this 4 stars on my Goodreads. Good book. Do recommend for the Halloween. And the next book that we're going to be reading for the spooky readathon is a Darren Shan. This guy used to scare me. I've read some of the books in his series before and I liked them very much. So if you're interested, subscribe for that. I hope you have a lovely day. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time with another video. Bye!